Hey there, thanks for clicking on today's video. If you're watching this, there's a good chance your home feels a little out of control right now. And you're probably wondering, where am I even supposed to start? I've tried starting in the living room, I've cleaned the kitchen first, folded my kids' laundry, but somehow, everything still ended up a mess. Then one day I did something different. I started cleaning a space that most people don't even think about. And that one shift completely changed how I keep my home tidy without burning myself out. So in this video, I'm sharing how choosing the right place to start can make all the difference, and why starting somewhere unexpected might actually help you stay organized for good instead of cleaning the same rooms over and over again. What about you? When your home feels totally out of control, where do you usually start? Do you jump into the kitchen, tidy up the living room, or do you ever find yourself just kind of wandering around, not really starting at all? If you've got a go-to spot you start with, let me know in the comments. You might just give someone else a helpful idea too. So where did I actually start? Not the kitchen, not the living room, not the entryway with everyone's shoes or the giant pile of laundry that followed me around the house. I started with my bedroom. It felt weird at first. I mean, no one really sees that space except me. If you'd asked me a year ago, I would have said to start where company might show up: the living room, the bathroom, maybe the kitchen if it wasn't too far gone. But every time I cleaned those places, they got messy again within hours. And more than that, they never felt mine. The bedroom, though, that was different. It was the one room where the mess was mostly mine. My clothes, my nightstand, my chaos. It didn't have toy bins or someone else's mail on the floor. So instead of feeling like I was cleaning up after everyone else, I could finally just clean something for me. And the truth is, it made a real difference. Once I cleared the floor, tossed dirty clothes in the hamper, and wiped down the nightstand, the room looked better fast. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough to walk in and not feel stressed. The bed was made. I wasn't tripping over stuff. I could actually see the top of the dresser. And that helped. Because even if the kitchen was still a mess, I had one room that felt done, and that gave me a break. It was the first time I cleaned something, and it actually stayed clean for more than a few hours. So today, before filming this video, I walked back into that same bedroom, the one I cleaned yesterday. And you know what? It still looked clean. Not perfect, but calm, clear, and finally under control. If you're wondering how I got it from a full-blown mess to something that actually feels peaceful, let me show you exactly what I did. And if you're in the mood to go a little deeper next time, not just tidy up, but actually tackle the kind of mess you feel, even when you can't see it, I'll be sharing some of my go-to deep cleaning shortcuts in the next video. They're simple, quick, and they've made a big difference in how fresh my home actually feels. But for now, here's where I started. This was the very first thing I did. Before touching anything, before even thinking about what to clean, I walked over and opened the windows. Not for any big reason, I just needed to breathe. The room felt stuffy, like the air had been sitting still for days, probably because it had. Once the window opened and the breeze came in, everything felt just a little easier. The light changed, the air felt less heavy. It didn't fix the mess, but it made me feel less stuck in it. I didn't do this because I'm one of those people who always opens windows while cleaning. I usually forget. But this time I did it on purpose. And I'm glad I did. It helped me stop dreading the mess for a moment and just start. Sometimes you need a tiny shift like that, something small to say, okay, this is a fresh start. If you're feeling frozen or overwhelmed, try this before anything else. Just open the window, pull the curtain back, let the light in. Even if the rest of the room is a disaster, fresh air reminds you that you can still clear space, even if it starts with something as simple as that. After opening the windows, the first thing I did was grab a laundry basket and bring it into the room. Nothing fancy, just a basic plastic one. I decided it was only for dirty clothes. Not for sorting, not for folding. Just one place to throw everything that didn't belong on the floor. I started here because clothes were everywhere. On the floor, draped over the chair, hanging off the bed. And the worst part, a lot of it wasn't even really dirty, just that worn, once too lazy to fold again kind of stuff. Normally, I'd stand there holding a shirt and debating, is this clean enough to hang back up? But this time, I didn't let myself overthink. If it wasn't folded and put away, it went in the basket. No questions. As soon as I did that, things started to move faster. I wasn't stopping to decide what to do with every piece of clothing. I just picked it up and tossed it in. A hoodie in, socks in, pajama pants in. And even though I wasn't doing laundry yet, the room already looked better. The floor started to clear. The chair was finally empty. I didn't feel like I was walking through a clothing store that exploded. This one step made a big difference. It didn't finish the room, but it got me past the part that usually slows me down. No mental blocks, no decisions, just movement. So if your room is full of scattered clothes like mine was, try this first. Don't fold, don't sort. Just grab a basket, bring it in, and toss everything in. You'll deal with it later, but right now you're clearing the way. And sometimes that's exactly what you need to keep going. After clearing out the clothes, I moved on to the rest of the floor, and this part made a huge difference. It's honestly one of the most satisfying things to do when a room feels completely out of control. I didn't try to deep clean or vacuum right away. I just focused on picking up anything that didn't belong sitting on the ground. That meant snack wrappers, receipts, a cup that had been there for 2 days, a plastic bag I didn't remember bringing in, and some random things like hair clips, coins, even a lone shoe. It was a mix of trash clutter and why is this even here stuff. I started in one corner and worked my way around the room slowly. I didn't rush it, but I didn't let myself overthink either. The goal wasn't to make the room perfect just to see the floor again. The hard part was staying focused. Every time I picked something up, I'd find myself wanting to stop and decide where it should go or whether I still needed it. But I kept it simple trash, went in a bag, everything else got set aside on the bed, or in a basket to deal with later. Within 15 to 20 minutes, the room felt lighter. I wasn't stepping over stuff anymore. I could actually walk from one end of the room to the other without dodging clutter. It didn't just look better, it felt easier to breathe. And that's when I realized something. When the floor is covered, it doesn't matter how clean anything else is, the whole room feels messy. But once the floor is clear, even if the rest of the room isn't done yet, it already feels like progress. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, just start there. Pick up what's on the floor. Don't worry about organizing. Don't aim for perfect. Just focus on removing the visual noise at your feet. That alone might be enough to help you keep going. Once the floor was clear, I turned to the bed, and honestly, this might have been the moment the whole room started to feel like it was mine again. I didn't do anything fancy. I just straightened the sheets, pulled up the blanket, and fluffed the pillows. No decorative throw pillows, no hotel-style fold, just enough to make it look like someone cared about this space. The reason I made the bed at this point and not earlier was because I needed the area around it clean first. If the floor was still messy, making the bed would have felt pointless. But once I had that clear space, the bed felt like the next natural reset. I'll be honest, part of me wanted to skip this step. I mean, why make the bed when I was just going to mess it up again tonight? But here's what I noticed: when the bed looks done, the whole room feels more put together, even if other areas aren't finished yet. It's like the anchor of the space. Once it's set, everything around it starts to fall into place a little easier. And emotionally, there's something about making the bed that shifts your mindset. It's not just cleaning, it's taking care of a space that takes care of you. This is where I sleep, where I sometimes hide with a book, or just lay down and scroll when the day's too much. Making it look nice, even for a few hours, felt like a way to give back to that part of my day. If your bed's a mess right now, try this. Even if you don't do anything else, just make the bed, straighten the blanket, fix the pillows, and give yourself a small sense of order. It won't take more than 2 or 3 minutes, but the impact is bigger than it seems. Next, I tackled the nightstand, and I didn't expect this one small spot to make such a difference, but it really did. It wasn't overflowing or anything dramatic, but there was enough clutter there to make the whole space feel messy. A half full water bottle, a phone charger, a random hair tie, 3 lip balms, why always three a couple receipts I had no memory of putting there, and a mug I kept forgetting to bring to the kitchen. The nightstand is one of those spots that's easy to ignore, but you see it every single day first thing in the morning and last thing before bed. And when it's messy, you might not consciously notice it, but your brain does. It adds to the visual noise, and it definitely doesn't make rest feel restful. So I cleared it. I left only what I actually use or need: my lamp, my current book, and a glass of water. Everything else either went in a drawer in the trash or back to where it belonged. While I was wiping it down, I realized how long it had been since I'd actually looked at that surface. It had just become background clutter stuff I was used to seeing, but never really registered anymore. Once it was clear, the whole room felt more peaceful, like it could finally exhale a little. This isn't about making your nightstand pretty or perfectly styled. Mine definitely isn't. But clearing it gave me one small pocket of calm that I see every time I walk in. That matters. So if you're resetting your bedroom, give your nightstand a minute of attention. You don't have to get fancy. Just remove what doesn't belong and keep what makes sense for you. It's a small move that creates a surprisingly big shift in how the room feels. After clearing the nightstand, I took a few minutes to wipe down the other surfaces in the room, nothing deep, just a quick once-over. I grabbed a cloth and went over the top of the dresser, the lamp base, the windowsill, and even the headboard. I didn't move every single item or polish anything. I just wanted to get rid of that thin layer of dust that makes everything look dull even when it's technically clean. At first, I almost skipped this step. I was tempted to think, it's fine, no one sees it, or I'll do it later. But I knew from experience that if I didn't do it now, I probably wouldn't get back to it for days or weeks. And honestly, it took less than 5 minutes. But the difference was noticeable right away. Surfaces that were starting to look tired suddenly looked fresh. The dresser didn't feel like a dumping ground anymore. It felt like part of a room I actually cared about. And here's what surprised me: wiping things down made me slow down. I wasn't rushing from task to task. I was paying attention to the space. That shift from just cleaning to actually caring made the whole process feel less like a chore and more like I was taking the room back for myself. If you're doing your own reset, don't skip this part. You don't need special products or a big effort. Just take a cloth, even a dry one, and give your surfaces a once-over. You'll see the difference. It's small, but it signals to your brain that this space is being taken care of again by you. Every bedroom has at least that spot where things just land. For me, it's the chair in the corner, the one I keep just in case I want to sit down and read. But really, it's been buried under clothes bags and whatever I didn't feel like putting away for weeks. It had become a mini storage unit inside the room. Every time I walked past it, I thought, I'll deal with that later. But later never came until I decided that today was it. I cleared everything off that chair. Some things went into the laundry basket, some back into the closet, and a few went straight into the trash. Once it was empty, I wiped it down, and this part might sound silly. I sat on it, just to remind myself that it was a chair, not a shelf. The act of reclaiming that one little dump zone did something I didn't expect. It made the room feel calmer. There was no longer a corner pulling my attention every time I glanced at it. No more silent ugh in the back of my mind when I saw that pile. And the best part, once the chair was clear, I didn't want to pile stuff there again. It felt like a little win I wanted to protect. So if you've got a dump zone, a chair, the top of your dresser, a corner near the door, pick just one and clear it off. You don't have to organize it perfectly. Just empty it, wipe it, and give that space its original purpose back. It might be one of the most satisfying 5 minutes of your whole reset. This was my final step, and honestly, it brought everything together. After clearing the floor, the bed, the surfaces, and the chair, I looked around and asked one simple question: does this need to be in my bedroom? That was it. It's wild how many random things end up in a bedroom when you're not paying attention. I found a grocery bag full of things I meant to return: two of my kids' toys unopened mail, a pair of shoes I hadn't worn in a month, and a travel-sized bottle of hand sanitizer from last year. None of it belonged there, but because it had quietly settled in over time, I'd stopped noticing. I grabbed a tote bag and started doing a quick sweep. No decision making, no organizing, just removing anything that didn't fit the purpose of this room, sleep rest, and maybe a little quiet. Some stuff went to the kitchen, some to the entryway, some to the trash. I didn't overthink it. I just cleared the noise. And when it was done, the whole room finally felt like it had boundaries again, like it knew what it was for. And more importantly, so did I. This last step was important because it shifted the space from clean enough to clear. It's the difference between tidy and intentional. If you're wrapping up your own room reset, take 5 minutes to look around and ask, does this actually belong here? You don't have to deal with everything right away. Just take it out of the room. Sometimes getting it out of sight is enough to give you the mental space to deal with it later. And just like that, the room is yours again. And that was it. 8 small steps. Nothing fancy, nothing overwhelming, but together they helped me take back a space that had been stressing me out for weeks. The room didn't end up perfect, but it felt like mine again. It felt like I could breathe sleep and just exist in this space without tripping over something physically or mentally. If your bedroom has been weighing on you too, I hope this gave you a place to start. You don't have to do it all at once. Just one step at a time, one corner, one win, one piece of clarity. And if you're ready to go a little deeper next time, like tackling the grime, the hidden dust, the stuff that makes your home look fine but feel off, I've got something for that too. In the next video, I'll be sharing a few of my favorite deep cleaning tricks, the ones that actually make a visible difference in just a few minutes, even when you don't have a ton of energy or time. So if this video helped at all, feel free to like it or share it with someone whose bedroom might need a little reset too. And if you want more content like this, simple real-life ways to make home feel less chaotic, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Thanks for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next one.